today is launch day for action takers who get it done. And we're going to be speaking to authors who each contributed a chapter and are giving you tools, tips, techniques to get stuff done in your life. And we have Elvira Gonzalez here with us, who wrote a chapter in this book. Elvira, welcome. And I'm excited to introduce you to everybody. Why don't you just, we're going to start and just tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Hi, my name is Elvira. I'm super excited and happy to be here with you today. I am a revenue cycle manager for Sequan Casino, and been here for a year now.
Yeah. How did you, why did you decide to contribute and write a story or write your story in this book? What about this title spoke to you?
So that's actually a funny story. My life coach, Sylvia Chavez, is also a contributing author in the book. And through a lot of work with her, we had discussed it being a dream of mine to become a published author. And this opportunity came up, and she got on the phone right away with me and said, "Hey, I want you to do this with me. I think it'll be exciting." And I was really hesitant at first. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? Opportunities only come around once in a lifetime. Go ahead and jump on it. So I talked to Sylvia a little bit. She put me in contact with Linda. And I think after that, I spoke with you a little bit. And then I spoke with my son, and my son's like, "Mom, do it." Because these types of opportunities don't come around often. He goes, "Just get it done." So I got it done.
That's awesome. So your book, your chapter title is Self-Love. So what is that all about?
So about 16 years ago, I went through a really hard period in my life where I lost my husband. And it put me into a really deep, dark depression. And I got to a point, as most of us women do, of being depressed and kind of starting, the wondering and the comparisons. And I just got into a really, really deep, dark place. And when my husband was alive, we used to work out together all the time. And I was really, health conscious, watching what I ate, working out. And when he passed away, I gained 120 pounds. So I got up to from 130 to 250, I think it was. Yeah, 250. And I just one day said, you know what? I looked in the mirror and I said, this is enough. Enough is enough. I don't want to live like this anymore. And through a friend of mine, I connected with Sylvia Chavez. And then I met my my coach, my fitness coach, Ray. And the two of them put me back on the right track. And I started to realize that self-love is the greatest love you'll ever have, because it's the only person that you will forever live with, the only person that you will forever look at every single day in the mirror. So if you don't love yourself, the saying is you can't love anyone else. And that I've learned holds so true. If you don't love you completely, then you can't love anyone else. So, yeah.
That's so true. And you said, your coaches did it, but really you were the one who put the work in, right? I mean, a lot of times, we have those mirror moments, because I had one in 2020 where, I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a mess. So,
Yes.
but it's making that decision and putting in the work, because it is a lot of work to do that. So how did that go for you? How did you turn yourself around?
That was really hard. I mean, it definitely took a lot of work. It definitely takes a lot of self-reflection. So I got in and I said, okay, I started working out at 4 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday. And I was meeting with Sylvia, I think it was once or twice a month. And it was probably the hardest year of my life, because it was working out constantly, it was eating constantly, it was dealing with Sylvia, who was tough with me, made me look in the mirror, made me check things out, made me really self-reflect and learn to accept myself and forgive myself for things that I had done in the past. So it was a very tough year to go through that, but got through it.
So how is it
Yeah.
now that you've done all that work? Are you continuing to grow, and what has that process been like?
So I, like we all do as women, I have slipped off a little bit off the working out. I'm not
Mhm.
working out as much as I'd like to right now. I'm really busy with my career. Um, but I've learned that it's okay for me to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And right now, my biggest goal, my biggest thing is my career. And so that's priority for me. But as far as the self-love goes, yeah, I love myself finally. I can look at myself in the mirror. I don't need external validation. It all comes from me. Um, I don't hold grudges anymore. I forgive quickly. And yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of women need that. They need that validation and that discipline to get it done, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so, can you share maybe a little bit about what you shared in your chapter without giving too much away?
So my chapter pretty much is about my story of what happened with my husband, how I dove deep into what I dove into, and how I began the process of healing. And it gives tips and hints to women, basically about how we can forgive ourselves and move on from devastating things that happen in our lives.
Yeah, I think when you're dealing with grief, it does overtake us, when we have that, and being depressed after that is normal. And how have you worked through that to get to where you are today?
It took a lot of work. I got stuck for 16 years in my depression, in my grief, in my sadness, and I talk a little bit about that in my chapter. Um, I think a lot of it was just learning to forgive myself, learning to understand that what had happened really wasn't my fault. To have to stop the blame game. I think that was a huge thing for me, was just self forgiveness. Um, I I journal a lot. I'm a big journaler. I love writing in my books. I love writing. So I did a lot of writing, a lot of self reflection, a lot of deep, hardcore work with Sylvia Chavez and my trainer. And yeah, so it was a lot of really deep reflection. But
Yeah.
I'm
So what's
I'm
next?
better now. Yeah.
What's next for you? Are you going to continue the writing?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. My next goal is to write my own book.
Okay. And do you have
Yeah.
any idea what that's going to be about?
I have a few ideas, so I haven't entirely decided yet. There's some stories. My life is full of stories, and I think that some of the things that I've gone through could benefit women. So haven't quite decided exactly which direction I want to go yet, but it is going to be something to do with the challenges and obstacles that as women we face.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's a great direction, a great way to write. So we're talking with the authors of Action Takers Who Get It Done. Be sure to head on over to Action Takers Publishing /GSD. Get your free gifts from the authors and order your copy today. Today is launch day, and we're excited. We're here with Elvira, and we're talking about getting it done. So what do you want the readers of this book and the readers of your chapter to take away? What do you want them to know about you and about this book going forward?
I think I want women to know that we are enough, that we are allowed to have a voice, that we are allowed to do the things that make us happy. And that, like I've said, my chapter is self-love, that we are important, and that the greatest love we will have is with ourselves. And,
Yeah.
never let anything stop you or get in your way. If you want to do something, go for it.
Yeah, and it's keeping your cup filled. One of the things that I learned really early on when I first started this back in 2020, I heard someone speaking and they said, keep your cup filled to overflowing, constantly give to yourself to the point where you're overflowing, and then only give to others from that overflow, and constantly keep your cup filled. And that's what self-love is all about. It's about giving to ourselves enough to where we're just overflowing with joy. So thank you so much for being part of this, for sharing your story in here. And how can people connect with you if they want to?
You can connect with me at egonzalez1272@gmail.com. And thank you, Sally and Linda and Sylvia, for the opportunity that you guys have given me by allowing me to share my story.
Well, we're happy that you joined us, and we're happy that you shared your story with us. So once again, head on over to actiontakerspublishing.com/GSD and get your copy today.
Thank you.
So powerful for those of you watching that maybe haven't, like, you've got the bug to write, but you're super scared. Collaboration books are an incredible place to start. And just to plug Action Takers a little bit, I don't know about other publishers. They're the only one I've ever worked with, but they've made it so easy. Like, you literally write your chapter and hit send, and then it's like all the work is done.
I know.
That's literally all you do.
And then you're connected with all these other amazing women who are like-minded
stories and journeys, and yes,
they have made it so easy. So shout out to Linda and to Sally for just really creating this amazing space for us to use our voices.
Yes, I love it so much. That's amazing.